If you're a coach running a community and you have a method, right? You're helping people get results, then your entire business model is results oriented. It's transformation based. If they don't get the transformation, you don't get the proof. You don't get the proof that you can use for marketing. They don't get the results. They cancel early. They don't engage. It's no good, right? So that is why we use milestones. Milestones are the way that we create almost that lily frog effect, right? Get them, jump into the next, jump into the next. So before you know it, we have handheld them and dragged them to the finish line where they graduate. You reward the hell out of them, and then they give you a story that you can use on the front end to get more people. It is our proof loop, right? So that is how we get dopamine cocktails in the brain. The closer they get to a milestone, the more action they take, the hungrier they are for it. Dopamine is released. And so I'm going to show you exactly how we create milestones in our coaching communities, because it is one of the best things you can do to get good results, create sick impact, and retention being just so easy after that. Show you Leo right here. So in our fitness community, we give one every 3 months. And so we have a lot of people who will pay and stay for at least a year because they want to collect each of the milestones, to the point where Leo even framed this, and he's been around for probably 4 years in this coaching community. So this is our module from our paid community on how we create milestones. Hope you get something from it. Hope you create some good milestones and get a fuck ton of proof for your coaching community. Let's go. So this is our milestones, right? So we know that it can be a very long journey to get from where they are to where your promised land is, what that result that you promised on the front end, right? So with Funk, then when we're saying get to the alpha zone, 15% body fat, 600 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone, that could take a year plus, right? And so milestones are a good way to break up the journey, and so that they can see the forest through the trees, they can see where they're at along the journey. And it's not just this repetitive notion that eventually gets stale and then they leave. And so there's 3 core milestones that we want to have. Well, there's two. There's 2 that we like to see, absolutely. Then there's one in the middle, which is just, we'll get to, but we call it the messy middle milestone. But milestones are important because humans are growth seeking, right? That part of the brain, that dopamine release, that is responsible for these seeking pathways. The fact that humans have got to where they are is because we have these core instincts. And one of the strongest is the dopamine, is the seeking. Dopamine is triggered when we are seeking, when we're looking for new information, when we're making goals and seeking goals and getting close to goals, and everything that it's the reward center of the brain, right? And so we want to be triggering dopamine as often as we possibly can. And milestones are a really good way to do that, because when you're setting goals and when you're close to a goal, that is when dopamine responds. And so there's 3 milestones that we want to see you have, 2 that you absolutely should have, 1 that's like absolutely mandatory. And so this is the ultimate status that they can hit, is hitting these milestones. And then, like we talk about, it's status and signaling. Because you sound douchey if you tell people your accomplishments and you sound like you're just bragging. We like to give people a way to signal their status, their increase in status, with like identity-based swag, so that they don't have to tell people, the thing tells people. And so this is the, I guess, timeline of our milestones right here. First one is the indoctrination milestone. So we believe that the first milestone should be the decision that they made to join you, right? This is a big commitment, and we know that emotions peak right at the time that they make the decision. The money went through, right? And so now they're at an emotional high, and we want to anchor that in. We want to celebrate that. We want to amplify that emotion and really lock it in. And so this is where we like to send something, definitely send something in the mail, right? That's why we really like handwritten for this. We like to have a budget of about $5 to $20 where we can just send them something that starts to anchor in the identity of who they're becoming, right? So like with Tribe, then we'll send one of these because we want you to keep seeing it. It's like that propaganda. We want you to keep seeing it and thinking about it. And when you're in their house, you're top of mind more often. And so that will just be triggers, right? Triggers and reminders for them to continue doing the thing to get the result. And so we'll get into the rewards in the next one, but right when they join, then we like to have something that's $5 to $20 that gets sent out and starts to just congratulate them and start to anchor in who they're becoming. So the second one that is mandatory is this graduation milestone, right? This should always be the one core milestone that people are gunning for. So that's why we spend so much time thinking about the promised land. What is the result? What is the identity that they become? And then from there, we want to anchor it again. When they officially become that identity, right? They finally hit the promised land. They finally got that result that they signed up for. Then we need to anchor that in. We need to celebrate them. We need to allow them to show it off. And so that's where we give them identity-based swag, right? So with over 40 alpha, then at month 12, then that's when we officially said, okay, you took the 1 year to alpha challenge. They submit the form, and then they get this shirt that has all of these benefits of an over 40 alpha, all the virtues, that says official over 40 alpha, and we put their name on the back, right? We want to officially anchor in the thing that they just did. And so this is mandatory, right? This is the one thing that they're gunning for. This is when they officially become the new identity, and this is when we need to anchor it in. So we would give a bit of a higher budget on this one, right? Because the more that they want the thing that you're offering them, the more they're actually going to A, fill in the form, and so that you can have the story, and B, give you good details so it's a good story to actually promote. So, and because only a small percentage of people will actually make it to the promised land and claim this thing, then you have more budget. You have a whole group of people who are basically paying for you to send these. So, and of course, like, you don't even have to cover the cost. ClickFunnels, to get the 2 Comma Club award we have, cost $250. So they don't cover it. And I think they send a t-shirt though when you finish your onboarding, which they might have got rid of, but that shows you that they have their graduation milestone, their 2 Comma Club award, and then they have their indoctrination milestone. If you finish Indoc onboarding, then they'll send you this ClickFunnels shirt. And it was soft, it's nice. Then there's the messy middle milestone, right? Because sometimes it can take a long time to hit that promised land, and we know human nature is fleeting. We need to incentivize it. We need to handhold and pull them towards the finish line. So sometimes we'll add milestones in the middle just to make sure that they're continually leapfrogging and lily padding towards the promised land. And so usually it's when they've hit that first win. So the sales page, maybe you're not saying, let's make $1 million together. Maybe you're like, let's just hit 10K in savings, right? That's what you're promoting on the sales page. Then when they get in, it's like, well, yeah, but we're aiming to be this, right? Millies. And so, but it takes a while. And so there should be a first result. With Funk, then we say in the first 90 days, you should lose, well, the first 30 days, you should lose 7 to 20 pounds. That's kind of the promise, but we're talking about that 1 year to alpha challenge. Either way, think about what the first win is. For Tribe, it's like once you're done, the Tribe Bible, once that messaging is tight, well, now you can build anything. Now you can run the community. Now you have the clarity. And so that's a huge piece. That's a huge milestone that we can celebrate with rewards. And so messy middle is just about watching your drop off, right? So in fitness, we knew that 3 months was a very common drop off for people. And so that's where we put our first milestone. And then we know it's probably the next 3 months. And so then we put another milestone. On next 3 months, another milestone. So we have 3 milestones in our messy middle before they hit the final. And so I'll show you what that looks like. So we have the 1 year to alpha. And we call it the 1 year to alpha challenge because they're men. Men love challenges, and it gives concreteness to that 1 year. And then within that, you can see at month 3, they get this no excuses, no fear, I got it done. Then month 6, I will not stop, I will not be stopped. And this one's a bit more heathered. These ones are good for fitness because they're more of a sweat wicking. Month 9, stronger today, better than yesterday, right? With that over 40 alpha. So that way, this way you have walking billboards at the same time as they get to signal their identity and claim a free reward. Then we have mindset, recovery, nutrition, workouts, beast mode. So we show our pillars, a bit of the status, and then official over 40 alpha male, over40alpha.com. We put their name on the back. And so this is our graduation reward. And then we have 3 in the middle. And so we don't need to send an indoc one. It would be nice to have at least the postcard, right? That's why we like handwritten, because it's $5. It will automate a postcard. You can just like use Zapier. As soon as the sale comes in, it will automatically send this template. So we love that one. We'll get to that in the rewards section. And so then you can see at this point, the behavior becomes more intrinsic. We don't really need to externally motivate. And so it goes another 12 months before they get another milestone. And so this is the medallion that we have. This is Bruce's results to show that he earned it. But this is a picture of the medallion that we send. So it opens up like a jewelry box. It's pretty heavy, a couple inches, right? And so it has the workout, nutrition, mindset, recovery. So it's got our 4 pillars. Alpha Brotherhood, it's got the fist, which is our signal of get it done. On the back, it has the 3 pieces, the 3 virtues to protect, provide, and procreate. And so it hits all those pieces and it just really solidifies who they've become in the process, because now they're 24 months in and they have to be in the alpha zone to receive this. And then at month 36, then Funk's still working on a ring, because very few people will hit this. 3 years in a program, crazy. So that's what we have here for KWA, for Coach Mandler's Kettlebell Warrior Academy. Then what we did was we had a 12-month challenge. And then at 13th month, there's this challenge phase, we called it. And that was the official KB Warrior challenge phase. That got you the official Kettlebell Warrior shirt. We also put their name on the back. So that's how we use the milestones to A, collect stories that give us really good proof, but B, it's a way to have all of these people creating uniformity in the group, wearing the same thing. And the third, it really helps to anchor in the new identity that they're becoming. So the more we can do that, the more that they see it, they have it in their house, they're wearing it, the more they embody the identity, which means the more often they're going to be doing the rituals and they're going to be engaging in the group and all of the good things of a tribe brand. So that's for milestones. Start to pick out where you can put yours, where it makes sense, specifically based on drop off. So as you progress through, then it would be good to track your failed, where people cancel, and start to look on a timeline as to where that is, so that you can start to put milestones in there and start to reward the people and create those dopamine, create those milestones so that people continually to do the behavior that we're looking for. So that is milestones, but you can see you can't even get to the milestones before doing all of the messaging, right? So that's why this is really part of the messy middle, because this is all about how you create your experience, how you build out your school, how you build out your curriculum, how you build out your coaching program so that you drag people along, right? To get the results, we have to incentivize the steps, but you don't even know, right? How do we even create milestones if we don't know what to call them, right? If we don't understand where they're going, what is the transformation that they're going to? And so it all starts with this tribe map. So if you haven't done the tribe map yet to get perfect clarity, you can see there's 7 pieces of tribal psychology that we have to make sure are aligned before we can build out the experience, before we can build out the milestones. And so make sure that you are figuring out your messaging and your mission, because we have to get them in with the message. We have to get them bought in with the mission. And then we create the milestones along the way, right? So if you don't have the tribe map, if you are not part of the school, then just check out the links below and get that first. All right, let's get it.